Hello and welcome to Attention Central Texas. I'm Angela Galbraith. And today as our guest in the studio we have Dan Galanthi, who is the National Day of Prayer Coordinator for the Central Texas area, and Norm Mitchell, who is the Corpus Cove Coordinator for the National Day of Prayer. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi. Thanks for having us.
It's a pleasure to have you guys here. So wonderful to have you. And so it's the 2018 National Day of Prayer. You guys getting ready for that?
Yes, ma'am.
Which is May 3rd, right?
Right.
And you indicated to me that the National Day of Prayer is approximately 67 years old.
Correct.
And so as far as you know, how did the National Day of Prayer begin?
Okay, so throughout America's history, various presidents had declared days of prayer when they felt like the country needed prayer.
Yeah, we need it now,
difficult
for sure.
times.
Yes.
Yeah, just like today. And but in 1952, President Truman signed a law, and it was passed by both houses of Congress unanimously.
Good thing.
That
Good deal.
Every year there's going to be a National Day of Prayer.
All right.
And then in several years later, I believe it was 1982, President Reagan designated the first Thursday in May to be the official National Day of Prayer, and that's the way it's been ever since.
So it happens to fall on May 3rd this year.
May 3rd.
And you guys have an interesting theme here, Pray for America. I like that unity. Making every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. This is your theme.
Amen.
So let's talk a little bit about this theme. How did you guys come up with this?
Well, we didn't come up with it.
Yeah. All right. Well, whoever came up with it.
This happened through the national headquarters in Colorado Springs, and they are the ones who were following their lead. This was their choice.
And every year there's a different theme, Angela, and really I think it's a great theme for this year.
This is
because if you really unless you're living in a cave somewhere, we watch the news. There is probably nothing more than we need right now in not just America, but the whole world.
Yes.
It's just to come together
yes.
in unity with God as our shepherd, praying for peace.
That's right.
Not just peace in America, but I mean, there's people in our country, the greatest country in the world, that are out on the streets protesting stuff, and there's people that are in harm's way all across the United States in riots and stuff. There's people that are serving our military that are in harm's way all across the world. And they need to know that we're back here supporting them, and we're praying for them to have peace and safety while they're protecting us, no matter where they're at. It's a great message for this year.
It is a great message, and if there was ever a time where prayer was needed, it's definitely now.
Yes.
And actually, we don't have to wait till May 3rd. Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
We should always be praying people for the condition of the world today. Yeah. And so I'm liking this theme, and you guys have got quite an extensive program set up, a lot of events set up for that that particular day. And it looks like the way you guys have had it set up, you've got things happening in the morning, things happening in the noonday, and things happening, later on in the evening, so that anybody can be a part. Nobody has to feel left out.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff that you have going on.
Okay.
All right.
Well, if you don't mind, I'd like to introduce what's going on in Copperas Cove.
Don't mind at all.
We've got stuff going on all across Bell County. All right, so Killeen, Harker Heights, Nolanville, Belton, and Temple, all through Bell County. But then Coryell County has also joined us.
Good.
And that's what Norm is representing. I'd like for him to just kind of share how he got involved with National Day of Prayer. And
well, I'm pretty active in a lot of different ministry areas in the area, and at one of our meetings, I noticed that there was really nobody in Copperas Cove that was coordinating anything, and so I brought it to their attention. I said, hey, I asked Dan, I said, who's running Copperas Cove this year? Nobody.
Oh.
And so I went to our Copperas Cove Ministerial Alliance meeting, and I said, hey, has anybody thought about National Day of Prayer for this year? Because I did it back in 2015. We had a couple other guys do it the last couple of years, and they're like, oh, kind of let that one slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
And of course, they looked at me and said, well, will you do it? And,
Perfect opportunity.
And there it is.
Yeah,
open
door.
The answer is always yes, Lord.
Of course.
And so we've made it happen. We've got a great lineup. We're going to be at we're actually having our meeting in the City Council chambers.
Okay.
So that's a great location.
It's
the heart of our city government in Copperas Cove. We've got some great people lined up as prayer warriors for the event. Our mayor has already done a proclamation. He's announcing it for the city as a National Day of Prayer. And he'll be there to read the proclamation. And
good deal.
So we made a lot happen in a very short period of time,
Amen.
which is to the glory of God. He can
That's
do
right.
things in the blink of an eye.
Amen.
You know?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you one of the exciting things that I definitely want to talk about and get the word out is before the National Day of Prayer.
Okay.
And it's the first thing on our list is April 28th. One of the things that I also do is I'm the area leader for a Christian motorcycle ministry called Chariots of Light, which is sponsored by Dr. Jerry Savelle.
Yes.
And we're having a Jericho ride.
That sounds like fun.
Anytime you're on a motorcycle, it's fun.
Absolutely.
And but they're starting at Freedom Road Biker Church out on FM 439, and they're going to be riding around Central Texas to all the various cities, basically on a Jericho ride.
Amen.
Stopping along the way and praying for every city to get ready for the National Day of Prayer.
How awesome is that?
That's awesome. And then we're going to land at at Agape Church at 5:30.
You're part of this motorcycle
Yes,
gang
ma'am.
too?
Well, he's
Gang of prayer
part of
warriors.
I need the wind therapy.
he's part of a group called Christian Motorcycle Association, and there's actually, people may not know, but there's 5 or 6 different Christian motorcycle ministries here in Central Texas.
Really?
And we would love to have all of them participate in
Wouldn't that
this.
be great?
And
if everybody just came
anybody
together,
on-
wouldn't that be great?
Anybody on a
else
bike.
that's not
The
even a
bikers
part,
can come
and
together
you're a
pretty-
believer.
all
Just join
bikers.
in.
Yeah.
Wow.
But so yeah, we're going to land at Agape Church and then and participate in that event, which is
Okay.
kind of the kickoff event for the National Day of Prayer. The public is invited to that event.
Awesome.
It starts at 6 o'clock on Saturday, the 28th.
April 28th.
Yeah. And so then after that, we've got several other events going
I
on.
see.
The following Wednesday, we've got a youth event, a citywide youth event
May
going on.
2nd,
May 2nd over at
Greater Vision.
Greater Vision. That's
Yes.
right. Yeah. And they've been doing that for the last several years.
Oh, have
Been doing
they?
a real good job. Yeah, yeah.
And that's at 7
then-
p.m.
That's at 7 p.m.
Yes.
And then, of course, the Thursday, May the 3rd.
The big day.
That's the big day. That's the official
National Day of Prayer,
National
yes.
Day of Prayer. We've got morning events. We've got noontime
I
events.
see.
We've got evening events, afternoon events. And, you know, primarily what I would like to do is to direct folks to our website. That's www.praykilleen.com.
Amen.
And they can look at all the different events that will be going on.
Because there's quite a few.
There's quite a few,
Yeah,
yeah. And that way they can see which event might fit their schedule
Right.
and their location.
Of course. Yeah.
Particularly-
That's good. I see that you've got it spread out all over the
Spread
city.
out, yeah, yeah. Particularly, I would like to invite people to one of the noon events because, as Norm said, you know, your city hall, that's the people, that's your government.
Right. And that's where the noon events
laws
are
are
going to
made.
take place. Yeah.
Yes, and so we've got a city hall event going on not only in Copperas Cove but also in Killeen. We'll be praying at the within the city council chambers there.
Okay.
Then we've got Harker Heights. Man, I'm excited about Harker Heights. We've got a
Yes.
whole group that just all of a sudden came together. God's really wanting to do this thing.
All he needs
And
is
so-
a willing vessel. That's it.
right.
Just willing
That's
people.
right.
Yeah.
And that's what Norm is, and that's what these other ladies are from Harker Heights and Nolanville. But so we've got Belton, we got Temple. So if you happen to work in Temple,
Amen.
go to the Temple
That's
noon
right.
event.
And Angela, if they can't get away from their job to go to one of these many locations that we have, just grab 2 or 3 people and pray at work.
There you go.
There you go.
You know,
There you go.
That's
you know,
right.
hey, look,
There you go.
every workplace I know has a closet.
Yes,
Yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
they
Lord.
can just grab 2 or 3 people, get in the prayer closet at their job, and participate. They
Amen.
don't have to go somewhere if
That's
they can't.
right. Yeah, that's right.
and
So it
if
doesn't
somebody-
exclude you from praying.
That's right.
You can't
And if
miss the
somebody
locations
comes
to pray
along-
anyways.
That's right. Exactly. And if somebody comes along and says, "What are you doing? You're not supposed to pray on the job." Well, you remind them, hey, today is the National Day of Prayer. Our
Yes.
president signed a proclamation
Exactly.
asking me to do this.
All right, so nobody can get in trouble for this.
That's right.
This is the one day that you can pray,
Absolutely.
you know, and
Absolutely.
you should pray.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, don't have to worry about getting fired or written up or anything like that.
Amen.
And so
Yeah.
there's quite a lot of events that are going on, and there's even things that are happening on Fort Hood.
Yes, we've got a youth event going on at noon on Fort Hood.
Yes.
And then there's going to be a post-NDP. So in other words, after the NDP, the following Saturday, there is an after NDP event on post that's going to also be taking place.
After party.
After party.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and there's an after party on the actual National Day of Prayer as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So if they can't get to anything while they're at working, or maybe they just couldn't do anything at work, there's 2 evening celebrations that are going to be after work. One's in Nolanville and one's at the Bell County Expo Center.
Well, amen.
And those are later on in the evening that everybody in Central Texas, no matter what city you're from, can go and participate in those as well.
You guys have got it covered. Yes.
Well, we try.
And look, there's even prayer sites open for individual or small group prayers.
That's right.
I like that. Metroplex and Seton and other places.
Yes.
That may have a chapel or somewhere.
That's right. Yeah. So they don't have an organized event, but they've opened their facilities and said, hey, come on, let's just spend a few minutes praying.
Good, yeah. And so if you happen to be in one of those places or near one of those places, you can drop by.
Absolutely.
Join in prayer, pray alone, or do whatever you can.
Right.
And so it's definitely needed for the city. What are you hoping that it would do for the city or our surrounding areas? What's this cohesive prayer?
Change our hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just change our hearts, but I mean it's we're commanded in the Word to do that. You know, God said, if my people will get together and pray to me, I will hear their prayers and I will heal their land.
That's right.
And I'm telling our land, we need healing right now. Just the whole country. Yeah. We need to come together in this spirit of unity that they're asking for on this particular day.
Yes.
And just let it carry over into every day of the year. Let this be the catalyst. Let this be the spark that ignites a fire of unity in the whole country for the rest of the year and from here on out.
Amen.
That we can look back and go, man, May 3rd, 2018 changed the course of our country forever.
Yes. Changed my life individually.
That's right.
That hearts would be changed. Minds would be elevated. Yeah, and to seek the will of God. Yes, definitely.
I'm so glad you said that about it's good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So National Day of Prayer. You guys have got it covered, and so they can find all the information on your website.
Yes.
What if somebody, I mean, is it too late for anybody to volunteer or to say, hey, I want to get involved?
It's never too late.
Never too late to volunteer.
It may be too late for us to post it on the website or to put it into. In fact, let me just share this with you too. I've got these programs that are going to be distributed throughout the area. We'll be taking them to churches and whatnot. That's going to have a list of all of the sites on it. Well, it's going to be too late to get into that because I'm finishing those up right now.
But that's fine.
But anybody and everybody is welcome and invited
just spread the word.
To pray.
Just talk, tell everybody about it.
Yeah, and to come to one of the noon events or one of the evening events. Yeah. And like you said,
Share it on Facebook.
Norm, that our country needs to come together in unity. We've got everybody is spreading dissension. Politicians apparently are more interested in votes than unity, and so it's like there's this anger, this spirit of anger, this group against that group, and
it's going to take the heart.
Prayer's the only thing that's going to change that.
Wouldn't it be great to see all the social media sites just explode with all National Day of Prayer stuff?
Indeed.
All of them.
Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you, our viewing audience. Tune in next time.